Hello. Oop, I left my blinds up. I'll be right back. Hello, hello. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to everyone. It's Drama Free Friday. Drama Free Friday. Yes. Hello, John. Hi, Nancy. Hello, Becky, Sylvia, Shauna, Barb, and Holly so far in the chat. So good to see you guys. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you are here. We'll see if old what's her name will leave me alone today. Hello, Robin. So how's I know this is a loaded question. How's everyone? It's a loaded question. I realize that. Anyway, sometimes you got to ask loaded questions, don't you? So I'm going to have a little sippy sip while we chat a minute. Wait for people to get here. Hi, Tori. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Holly. I think I said Holly already.
Hello?
Go away, Siri.
That may be beyond my abilities at the moment.
She says, and I quote, that may be beyond my abilities at the moment. It's bad when you have a conversation with your phone. Oh, where was I? Hello, Lauren. Let's see, where was I? Athena. Hi, Tori. Who else? Hi, Gail. Hi, Noeet. Sandy. Hi, Joy. Hello, Angel. Orla, right? I think that's right. Robin. Hanging on by her toenails. Okay, Robin, keep hanging. Hi, Lena. And Becky's healthy. That's good. Hi, Virginia. Peggy. Hello, Anne. I have not attended the Zentangle course. I have not. It's on my list of things to do sometime. But no time very soon, apparently. Hi, Mina. Hello, Krissa. You're here. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Mindy. Oh, I'm just going to call you Cooey because I don't know. I'll never remember your name, so I'm just going to call you Cooey. That's my name for you. I know it's probably wrong, but that's my name for you. So anyway. Yeah. So, since last we were all together, it's been a little crazy making. Hi, Nashua. Hi, Linda. So, little Starbucks is in my... Starbucks I can still get to because it's in our grocery store. Hello, Deb. Mousy Deb. Cooey's fine. Okay. So anyway, welcome everybody. My name is... I'm sure you know this by now, but in case you didn't, in case it's your first time here, my name is Barb Owen of HowToGetCreative.com. Hi, Nancy. Yes, indeed. So I'm glad you're here. That's okay, Lauren. It happens. Hi, Laura. Hi, Teresa. I mean, stuff happens. You know, it just stuff happens. There's no perfect time. There's no perfect situation. It just is what it is, right? Part of a I'm part of a group of 6 people that are they are crazily sending group texts around. So my wrist keeps going goofy. We don't want to talk to Siri about it though, because she will get all upset, and then I have to tell her to go away, and then she says she might not be able to do that. And then I feel like the crazy one because I'm talking to my phone. Honestly. Cool, Laura. So first of all, just to tell you, before I forget about it, Joan Smithies, who's in the chat, does stencils for iStencil, and I know that there is a big, like, monster sale going on over at iStencils. Hello, Deborah. Greetings from Cottonwood. Yay. Hi, Marion. So, check out Joan's stencils. I know that Patty Tolly Parrish has stencils too. Joan's stencils are under the PTP heading or whatever, category or whatever, Patty Tolly Parrish category. Yeah, Joan says we're allowed to be crazy at this crazy time. That's right. So if you are in need of stencils, they have like, I heard Patty say they have like over 3,000 stencils. So if you need a really good distraction, you could like go there and be lost for several hours. Hi, Barbara. Yeah, so you could go there and get lost for a while. So if you need any stencilage, if you need, wait till after Drama Free Friday is over with, right? Let's just play here for a while. And then you can go and, hi Mary, and you can go and check out stencils, and maybe you need to get some. I think the sale is like 33% off. I mean, that's pretty much unheard of. So, yeah. Orla vouches for the fact that you can go there and get lost. Yes, you can. With 3,000 designs to look at, and Patty, I heard Patty say this. I thought this was really good advice. She said, if you find stencils that you like, stick them in your cart. Anything you think you might even be interested in at all, put them in your cart. And then when you get ready to check out, you can take out the ones that you've decided, if you decide you don't want them for some reason, but at least you haven't lost them. And you're not going back and trying to find them again. So anyway, that is what I have to say about that. And all their designs are really interesting. Robin has $70 worth in her cart, so she's going to have to cull a little bit. Gotcha. Okay, so I have Happy Mail to show. I think I'll do that first, and then we will move on through all the stuff on my desk. We're going to do something different today. We're not going to do typical art journaling because I just felt like it was time to do something different. Okay. I'm grateful for that cup of Starbucks, I'll tell you. Let me make just a tad bit of room here. I have lots of things to show you. And then we're going to just do something fun. We're going to do something fun. So let's do Happy Mail. Because I'm happy. I hope you're happy too. So the first thing I'm going to show you is... okay, I think we're good here. This is from one of our VIP members named Vicky, and she sent me, look at this adorable card. Look at this. Is this not the cutest thing? Is that not the cutest thing, you guys? Look at that. Look at that. I'm telling you. Is that the cutest thing ever? So this was the class. It wasn't this image, but this was the class we did this month in the VIP group. So yeah, so she made the card for me. And then she sent me some images of some other, hi Eva and Kathy and anybody else that's here that I didn't say hello to. Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So these were some other images that Kathy got Kathy on the brain. This is from Vicky Lee. And these are some other images these were copies that she sent me. I just thought they were really cool. So one is white on black and the other is black on white. So aren't those cool, you guys? So it was so nice of her to share that with me. I know, they're just gorgeous. Oh, Krista, I don't know. I think that they have discounts. I think the discount is worldwide. And then the shipping, there's a big deal on a really good deal on the shipping. As I believe. I don't know. Somebody in the chat could probably help tell you more than I can. I'm just telling you what I remember. Yeah. Just telling you what I remember. Hello, Dorothy. Good to see you. So, anyway, isn't that cool? I just had to share those with you because that was so nice of her to send that to me. And she can't participate in our... She always comes to the VIP group. She always comes there, but she doesn't have a camera, she said, to be able to show her work. So she did that. So that was really sweet. Okay, and then in the chat is Noit. Hi, CB. Hi, Shu. Noit is from Israel. I hope she doesn't mind me saying that. She sent me this giant package of Happy Mail, which must have cost, as expensive as overseas shipping is. It's like, holy cow. Noit, girl. You made me very happy. The site is iStencils. It's the letter I and then stencils. STENCILS. iStencils. Right, Joan? That's it, correct? No, it's not. What do you mean? No, it's not. Yeah, there it is. CB put it in. iStencils. It's a small letter I and then the word stencils, but it's all one word. Anyway. Okay. So, she made me absolutely... It just took my breath away. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So, I'm just going to start down here at the bottom. Okay? So, this is... now I've watched her do a lot of this. Noit has a channel, a YouTube channel, and she puts out lots of videos. So I recommend that you subscribe to her. And Marion keeps getting booted. Okay, so let's talk just for a quick second. The internet and YouTube is incredibly busy right now. We all know that. There's nothing any of us can do about it. So the only thing I can say to anybody having problems is just keep refreshing, and maybe you have to go down in your quality, which is the little gear icon on your viewing window. Sometimes you can reduce the quality, and sometimes that helps. And other than that, I don't know what to tell you, because it just is what it is right now. Yeah, just is what it is right now. So anyway, keep coming back. Hi, Ina. Keep coming back, okay? Marion, come back. So anyway, so if you have questions about any of this, any questions, Noit's in the chat so you can ask her, okay? But this looks like it is vellum, and it looks to me, I didn't see her do this, but this looks to me like she used a stylus and maybe a stencil and embossed it. Because apparently she has gotten the word that I enjoy butterflies. So it just has the best feel to it. So it feels like vellum, and has a great sound. It's crunchy. It's really cool. So if I miss exactly what Noit says, you guys will get the skinny on it. And she packaged everything, and she put notes on everything. Honestly, she did. And everything's so, must have taken her for flipping ever to do this, to package all this stuff. So she's got them in bags. And this one is made from vellum, Sharpies, and splatter of alcohol ink, I think. Or alcohol, maybe just alcohol. I know that Noit does a lot of things from what she gets a lot of her supplies from what she calls the cheap store, which I think is the equivalent of our dollar store or something. And so look at these. Look at these. Oh, you guys. These are, and I haven't investigated these, but they are on a foam square. Can you kind of see that? Give you a little sneaky peek. See? I have not tried pulling these off of here. I don't know that I ever will, because I like looking at them just the way they are. But aren't those pretty? Gorgeous. So I don't know. You can ask questions. Ask her questions. Because admittedly, I may have confused some of the packages too. So you guys really spoiled me. I'm telling you, Lena sent me, pardon the voice issue. I don't know why my voice, decides to take a hike when I get ready to stream. Where's Paula? It's Paula's fault. Paula and I, when Paula streamed all the time, we used to give each other all kinds of trouble about that. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of put these things back together. Kind of-ish. I know. They are just stunning. They really are. And me showing them to you and explaining them to you does not do them justice. Believe me. And I'm going to stick things back in the bag as we go, so I kind of keep them all together. Hi, Dana. Oh, I don't know. It's crazy. And, you know, I can be just fine. I can be just fine for hours and hours and hours. And then let me start talking to you guys, and my voice goes. I almost said a bad word again. What is up with me? Anyway. Okay, let's see. What else? Okay. This was in this beautiful, this is an envelope, right? And she sent me a beautiful, I love this. I hope you don't mind, Noit, if I read this. Hi, Barb. I'm not much for words and writing. Dyslexic for me. It's fun like pulling teeth. Not, in other words. I just wanted to thank you for all your videos. Haven't gone through all of them yet. She's pacing herself. Well, Noit, it could take you a very long time to get through all that. I would also like to thank you for giving me a shout out. Hope you will enjoy the things I've sent you. Thank you very much, Noit. And she says, do you know how many times I can misspell Barbara when the letters go square dancing? Love that. But isn't this pretty? Just look at the card. This looks like watercolor paper to me, but I'm not entirely sure. Let me let you get the whole effect. Noit does some of the most creative things. And this has got tissue paper or napkin or something in the background. It's very textured. She does wonderful things with very few commercial art supplies, right? Very few commercial art supplies. Hello, Jenny. And anybody, hi, Carmen. I just noticed a couple of people I hadn't said hello to. And if I miss you, hi, Malia. Napkin. Okay. So Noit's in the chat, so she's explaining to everybody what things are, because I'll only see bits and pieces of it. Oh, I see like the edging, maybe, of the napkin up here. I don't know. Anyway, so pretty. What a great card. What a great card. And Noit does lots of art journaling. Beautiful art journaling. Great ideas. Okay, so there's that. This I watched her make. I watched her do these on the stream. And again, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that this was The background technique, I think, was inspired by Treasure Books, Natasha, I think, although I'm not entirely sure. Hello, Animal Lecter. I haven't seen you in a long time. Hi, Tink. Paula. Thank you, Tink. I'll probably just call you Tink. Oh, thanks, Carla. That was nice of you. But this is so cool. So as I recall, again, I'm just telling you what I remember. Because, yeah, I don't know that I remember. I think it goes this way. Nope, I think it goes this way. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Barb. Don't worry about it. This is a journal that after she made the paper for it, then she covered. I think these were journals that came from her cheap store. Hi, Janice, I believe. And Animal Lecter, remind me of your name, would you? Because I can't remember. I don't remember. But these were journals that I think she bought, which I love journals. We all know this about me if you've been watching me for a while. But get a load of the texture on this. And I can't remember what this technique was called. So Noit's going to have to put it in there. Paloma, thank you. Faux handmade paper. That's what it is. Faux handmade paper. And as I remember, again, this is we're depending on my memory, which is sometimes questionable. There's like bits and pieces of teas and herbs and things like that. But look at that. I saw her do this, and I had no concept of how beautiful this was once you really got to hold it in your hand. But what an interesting closure for a journal. So I'm just giving you a real close-up of this. Isn't it pretty? Hi, Pat. So, yeah, notebook from the cheap store. So you can get two different versions of this. One you can get from Noit by watching her channel, and then you can go look up Treasure Books, and she does a lot of really interesting things as well, and has been doing a lot of she does a lot of videos as well. So, you know, there are a lot of people doing a lot of videos right now, just saying, and some people do a lot of videos all the time. So anyway, it's so beautiful. I will enjoy that if I can make myself write in it. Yes, if I can make myself write in it. Okay. And she stuck all the bags, or most of the bags, she stuck closed with her handmade paper. So I carefully peeled this one apart so I can reuse it in my journal. So this one, I believe, is this is all made from scraps, paper napkins, ribbons, fabric, cloth tags, etc. I think that the note got separated from the thing that went with. I think this is where it goes, but I'm not sure. So Noit can correct me if I'm wrong. But look at this little ATC. Lots of butterflies. Noit, you didn't sign it, though. You didn't sign it. So I'm going to sign it for you. I'm going to put it on the back. Okay, you guys got to learn to sign your work. Got to learn to sign your work. This is all scraps. Okay. All right. So, all scrap. First of all, let's just look at the outside. Okay. Let's just look at the outside for a minute. And all of these, it's very interactive. Lots of things move. But it's just, yeah. So, it's going to be a minute while we go through all of this because I'm telling you, it's worth it. It is definitely worth it. I cannot believe that she sent all this to me, honestly. But it's got a lot of fabric. It's got like a glass glob marble thing. The tag comes out. This must have taken a very long time to do. I think Noit doesn't sleep. Noit doesn't sleep. Hi, Joey. Okay, so here's another one. So again, lots of butterflies. Live your dreams. So all of these great tags in here that pull out. I won't go through every single pull out. Lots of little embellishments. And the way she's put the pages together, and I'm not, the pages feel like they might be cereal box. Ugh, camera, come on, cooperate with me. The pages feel like they might be cereal box or cardboard or something like that. And just lots of great things. And this is a little notebook. Look, little notebook. Lots of scraps of fabric to hold things in place. Hearts. More butterflies. Another tag. But she's used ribbons and also strips of fabric to bind the pages, connect the pages to each other. And this is a dimensional flower. Lots of, and it says inspire, but lots of inspirational things in this little book. Create. But the tags are all connected. You know, one of the things that I have a hard time with sometimes is with interactive books and journals that have lots of pullouts and, you know, things. I have a hard time putting them all back in because I forget where they go. This is a really fun idea to have them connected. You know, it's just a really good idea to have them connected. And then there's the back, and she's got the ties so that you just wrap it around and tie it over at the front end. So cool. So cool. Okay, get another one. I mean, we're not done yet. We're not finished yet. Look at this beauty. Look at this beauty. Let me open it so that the camera will stop being... My camera's being a real pain today. We'll just tell it what's... Okay, I know I had this open, didn't I? Maybe not. No, I didn't have it open. I did not have it open. We're going to open it. This one I had not opened. I'm going to open it. So, give me a second. Let me just open it. I do remember seeing her make these butterflies. And this looks to me like it's all different kinds of denim to make the background. Again, Noeet's in the chat, so she can answer how she did it. Okay. I'm going to have to open it better than I just opened it. Oh, no, it's not denim. It just looks like denim. Oh, it was stuck in the... This is tape up here. Okay, this is tape, and it was sticking in the tape. That's why I was having trouble. I was looking so awkward trying to get it out of there. Okay, so I'm going to let you see this up close. So this is not, it's denim looking, but it's paper. Right? It's paper. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you. Hello, Peg Robinson. Look at that. I remember seeing her do the butterflies. I can't tell you now exactly how she did them. So, but I do remember seeing them on her channel. Isn't that cool? All different circles. Just all different circles to make that background. So these are all individual circles that are added on there. So cool. So cool. Yes. Thank you, Noeet. Thank you. And this was great. This was great. She says, and I quote, I'm going to show you her note. Okay, here's her note. Now, she's from Israel. I don't know how to do Siamese cats, so you got stuck with 2 black ones. I know, Dorothy. Oh, gosh, you guys, look. She doesn't know how to do Siamese. So I got 2 black cats instead. They do, except they're a little skinny, they do kind of resemble the sponsors. But look at her backgrounds. Her backgrounds are beautiful. One of the things that she does that is so inventive and beautiful are the backgrounds that she does. I mean, she just starts slapping paint on or inks or whatever, and then by the time she's all finished, it turns into this beautiful piece. Absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, 2 black cats. Because she doesn't know how to do Siamese. I'll take that. I will take that. So fun. So fun. And then she sent me a bookmark, which I love bookmarks too. I love bookmarks. I know, aren't they cute? Hi, Jenny. Or did I say that already? Oh, well. If I said hello to you 2 or 3 times, it's just because I can't remember if I already did. Anyway, I'm so glad you're here. I know the kitties are just darling. Well, no, we can't see you, so it's okay. Just blush on, babe. Just blush on. Now, this I just had to laugh about, okay? Because how many times, there's several of us that say this. Any hoot. Look. I mean, English is not even her native language, and she still caught the any hoot. Sarah Evans of My Serenity Crafts always says, anywho. Anywho. Isn't that cute? But again, look at the background. Look at the background. Yeah, she does a beautiful job. So I love bookmarks. I make bookmarks myself. I send bookmarks out. And you know what? I still dog-ear the pages of my books. I still dog-ear the pages of my books. What is wrong with me, people? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? I still dog-ear the pages of my books. Oh, APG Jamie always says that too. Okay. I knew there were several of us that did. Anyway, no eat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. That was a delightful package of goodness. And I enjoyed it just as much going through there this time as well. So hopefully you got some fun ideas. And if you need more ideas, just watch her videos. Yep. I know, it's gorgeous, wasn't it? And one of the other things that Vicky sent me, I set it off to the side because you all know I love mandalas. Do you see my patch on my elbow? This poor shirt's falling apart. I don't know why I wear out my left elbow. I don't know why. And I do. So I have one patch on one elbow. So if you see that, that's what happened. Yeah, Betty Jo, that's true. That is true. Just click her name, Dana. You can click on her name and it'll take you right over there where you can subscribe to her channel. All right. So those of you know, if you've been watching me anytime at all, I love mandalas or mandalas or mandalas or whatever you want to call them, or mandalas. Okay. I love them. I love the art form. We're doing the Beyond Mandala Madness classes right now that we're recording, and I'm doing them live on YouTube with everybody. You can join them at any time. There is no cost to you to join them. I had somebody take me to task over that. Whatever. Anyway, everybody is welcome to come join us on Mondays and Wednesdays, same time as this stream started. And so Vicky sent this to me as well. So I thought I would share this with you. So she sent this to me, and this was a teacher at Bellingham High School about using mandalas and teaching mandalas to high school students. So I thought this one was really interesting with, doing buildings around the outside edge of that mandala. I just thought that was really cool. And there's the student that did. And here, if you want to see the rest of the story, you can go to that website. I have not gone there yet, but you can look at that. And there's some additional information about mandalas. Okay. I know it's hard to believe that I would be one who would love mandalas. I know. And these were some other mandalas from other students. Tell me how talented these kids are. I love how the uneven border of this one. But so pretty, so beautiful. So glad that Vicki sent those to me so I could see them. I know. Okay. So last week, we're going to go through this real quickly and then we're going to get on. Last week, we talked about processing, the junk. And I didn't get this finished yet. I will eventually, if I can ever find the page. I've done a bit of writing since then. But this was one of the things we did last week where I had written all over this page and then put black gesso all over it. Got you hooked on mandalas again. Good. No, eat good. So this is how it ended up. Imagine the rest of it's done. So black gesso over it to transform the icky writing. And then I used some Seth Apter stamps called bloopers from Impression Obsession and Distress Oxide inks to stamp on here. And I wanted to give you a heads up about that because the oxide inks are a combination of pigment and dye ink. And because I was stamping that, Race is here. Hello, Race. That's my son, in case you don't know. He's in a completely different part of the United States than we are, but we get to connect usually here and some other times too. It's always good to see his name pop up in the chat. Sometimes I get a little weepy when I see it. Hi, Diane. I know. Me, the big sap. Anyway, when I stamped the oxide inks on top of the gesso, they did not want to dry. Well, the gesso kind of functions as a bit of a sealer, and so it did not want to dry. And so hours later, it was still wet. So I ended up spraying it with a sealer to force them to dry. So just saying, if you're going over raw paper, it's going to dry. It's going to be slower drying because of the pigment aspect, the pigment quality. But on top of gesso, it's going to take a while, just so you know. So anyway, after that was completely dried, then what I did is used a couple of white Posca pens, and then I just started doodling on it. So that's what I did. Okay, so that's that. So I just wanted to show you. And there is a recording of this. I don't know what day. I was looking at how many times I've streamed or been online doing classes and what have you since last week. Or this month. It's been quite a few, so that's that. Okay, let's talk quickly about the current mandala course classes going on. And so I'm just going to show you, because somebody asked me if I would show what we had done in the classes. So this was kind of the warm-up in the very first session. So these are cards. So we played. Okay, we played with different stuff. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. Doesn't require any skill whatsoever. No skill. So these are cards. Okay, so this is just these are a few of the things that I used to make mandalas with, and took pictures of them and then made them into cards. Okay, so that was one class. We did two classes the first session, and this was the other one that we did. So this is two different versions of the same thing, so I'll show you that. Okay, Then in the second class, we did, this is supposed to be stuck in here, but my tape has turned loose. But, you know, it was a temporary tape. So this one is using ink, painting with the dropper of ink. And this is the one that, well, we'll talk about that in class next time. Anyway, so that's that one completely finished. We also did a warm-up in that class. And so this was the warm-up, just, you know, dropping color on a piece of paper and then just making freeform mandalas. So we did that. And then we started one also. We just basically drew this one, but we started this one as well. So we didn't get quite this far, but we did all the drawing. Okay. So that is the other one that we did. And we will finish this one and the inky one that I showed you just a minute ago. We will finish those in the next class that's coming up. Since I'm recording it live with an audience and addressing questions and stuff, you know, I'm kind of playing it by ear. Oh, thank you so much. I'm kind of playing it by ear as to how far we go each time. So, and that and my stamina, how well does my stamina hold up? Because sometimes I'm just like, it's like somebody pulls a plug, you know, and all of a sudden you go, and that's all there is. That's all there is. So, okay. So we're going to do something different today. And let's see, is there anything else I needed to show you? Oh yeah, last week the other thing we did is, and she's not done either, but she's a little bit done, but not quite. Sometimes I don't finish journal pages. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I don't finish the journal pages. Sometimes I just, you know, get to a point and I go, okay, well, I'm done with that, so I'll do more of it another day. And so this is as far as she got. And this, I don't know that you'll find the link to this in the description box below this video, but the one from last week, you'll find a link to the faces that you can download and print. And there's no charge for that. You can just download them and print them out. As if you have an inkjet printer, you're in luck. If not, you may have to try to find some place to print them out. This is on an inkjet. And then these are all just bits and pieces from magazines. I was looking a lot for a roll of toilet paper, but I couldn't find a roll of toilet paper. I'm going to have to make one. And she's holding a roll of paper towels and a bottle of disinfectant. Because, you know, sometimes you have to laugh at situations. Okay? Which takes us into a couple of things I want to talk to you about. And then it will, nope. Bye, Jenny. Thanks for coming. Hello, Sandy. I'm sorry, I'm not really reading what all you said there. So she's fun to do. I do recommend that you get your magazines out and you just play. And we're going to be playing again today, but we're going to play with something other than paper. So we're going to play with fabric and some stuff. So anyway, I told you already who I was, so I don't have to tell you that again. Let's just chat for just a quick minute here about the week that we've all been dealing with together. It's been challenging. I do have some notes, so that's why I keep looking down here. It's been challenging for everybody, right? For everyone. So I thought maybe if I tell you a little bit about how I deal with stuff like this, maybe that would be helpful. And if it's not helpful, then you can just mute it and go get coffee or something. If you're not interested, that's fine. That's okay. So, yeah, so this is a time of pretty much big adversity for everybody. And so you either, when you are in the midst of stuff like this, you know, where life is just cracker bananas around you, you're going to do one of two things. You're going to either see no possibilities for anything and you fall into this abyss of whatever, all kinds of emotions. Sometimes you don't even know what the names of them are. Or you can see possibilities and opportunities. And so, you can go one way or the other. Sometimes you're right in the middle. Sometimes honestly, I'm at one end or the other in the same day. Do you ever have to just have a talk with yourself? Do you ever just have to have a talk with yourself? Sometimes, especially right now when you can't get together with, friends in the same space, you just like to have to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, right? Sometimes you do. So sometimes I ask myself, and I'm going to only talk about me because I don't want you to think I'm preaching at you. If you do, that's not the intent. So sometimes I have to decide whether I'm going to be in anger and be mad about it because this is just not fun. When you're having to dig and look for toilet paper and Kleenex and stuff like that, that is not fun. It's not fun. It's just not fun. So you can be mad about it, or you can also just choose to be grateful for every little square of toilet paper that you have, or every Kleenex, or every piece of, whatever you have to eat, The one thing that each and every one of us, whether we want to admit it or not, the one thing we all have control over is the attitude. It is your attitude. It's my attitude. I can control my attitude about things. I can choose to look. I'm the only one looking through my eyes. Nobody else is looking through my eyes. So do I look at stuff around me and go, oh no, this is terrible. This is the worst thing ever happened. And there's truth in that. I've never been through this before, and I'm older than a lot of you. I've never been through this before. And it's pretty easy to look at it and go, oh no, the sky is falling, It's terrible, it's terrible. Or I can look at it and start looking at what is happening around me. Because there are lots of things around me. Hello, Ruth. There are lots of things going on around me that sometimes I have neglected to look at and see. So, because I can't get out and go do all the stuff that I normally do, which is at this pace like this, it's this fast-paced thing, which is really easy to get into. And because I can't do that, I'm having to get out and walk in the neighborhood, right? I'm having to walk in the neighborhood to get exercise. I can't go to the gym. Not that I was going to the gym a lot recently, but let's pretend I was. And I can't go now. So I'm walking in the neighborhood. So you know what I saw? I saw daffodils everywhere. Now, you may be in a different part of the world and you don't have daffodils, or you don't know what daffodils are, right? They're these beautiful spring flowers that we have that come up from bulbs, and they're everywhere right now. And they are so beautiful. And you know what? I'm stopping in and taking pictures of them because I have my phone with me all the time. I'll take pictures of them and take a real close up and go, I never noticed that there were so many colors and shapes of daffodils. They're absolutely stunning right now. I don't know if they're more beautiful than usual or if I'm just noticing. Could be either one. Yeah. What else? Magnolia trees. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but they're these beautiful pink and magenta blooms. I even took a big picture and sent them to my son yesterday. Because they often, when the magnolias bloom here, once they bloom into this just radiant, they're huge, beautiful trees of blooms. And so many times we get a frost and it'll kill the blooms. So when they come, you have to really take advantage of them and just look at them. They're just beautiful. And of course, smart aleck that he is, sent me back a response that says, good, it'll probably snow now. We're also having forsythia, which are these bushes of yellow gold, beautiful blooms that are just starting to come in, and they're fragrant, and so not only is it pretty, but it's fragrant. Some of the fragrances, some of the trees that'll be coming out here before long don't smell so great, but forsythia is really beautiful. So you just get to, I don't know about you, but for me, one of the blessings of this is to really look, to really see things, and to have a different sense of appreciation. So I looked through these are from our Mandala cards, and so I looked through the deck today, and I went, yeah, appreciate. Nature's beauty is a gift that cultivates appreciation and gratitude. That is so true. I promised myself I wouldn't get all sappy, so I'm going to try not to. We just need to have better eyes. We need to have different eyes. I need to have better eyes and different eyes and look at what is going on. What are the blessings? What are the beauty? What's the beauty? You know, something else that's happening because everybody's out walking. We live in a neighborhood of I don't know how many people, but it's a good, beautiful neighborhood. There's lots of trees and so forth. It's an old established neighborhood. And people are out walking. And do you know that for the first time, I met neighbors that live like 3 houses away. Met them yesterday. I know their dog. I know their dog. Now, how sad is that? I know their dog because my dog knows their dog. But I didn't know them until yesterday. They were sitting out on their driveway, and they pulled a table and chairs out there. And so we just stood in the driveway and talked. And, found out the things we had in common and so forth and so on. It was just really, I was like, wow. And they're moving away in a couple of months. But, I'm really grateful that I had the chance to get to know them, at least for a brief moment. The rest of the time we're so busy. We're so busy. So anyway, it was really cool. And so there's one more thing I wanted to show you. Okay, you're going to think I'm crazy, and that's okay. It's okay. So I'm going to show you this. As soon as I get my camera to cooperate with me. You see what that is? Can you see? It's a little dish. And I hope you can't see too much. It's full of, they're dusty. They're dusty. Some of these have been run over by cars, and some of them have been who knows what, Some of them, like this one, look. It's a quarter. For those of you in different countries, that's a 25 cent here. But I mean, it has beat all to pieces. I don't know I don't know what its whole life has been. These are what I call, they're all coins that I have found. And on some of the days when life has been the greatest struggle for me, I've found these. These are only some of the coins that I've found through the years. And I carry I carry some in my pocket that I find. Because when I find one, I just drop it in my pocket. And I always keep those coins in my left pocket. And I call these, my term for these is God winks. And these are the little things, the little reassurances. I mean, like, look at that one. These to me are the little reassurances that things are going to be okay. That I just need to hang in there and not spend my time, not waste my time worrying about stuff. Because they always show up. They always show up in my life. You can call them whatever you want. I call them God winks. Because to me, it's just that little thing, of a sign from somewhere beyond me, bigger than me, that just reassures me that everything's going to be okay. And then I wanted to tell you about 2 things that I listened to online. podcasts. I don't know if you guys listen to podcasts or not, but one that I wanted to tell you about is called Moments That Matter with John Giswold. It's Jongiswold, John Giswold. And he does, it's a short podcast, usually 16 to 20 minutes, and they're called Moments That Matter. And he lives in New York City, and he does some really wonderful, his moments are really wonderful to listen to. I think they're really good. So I just thought I would share that with you. And the other one that is really interesting to me is Creative Pep Talk. And this guy goes by the name of Andy J. Pizza. I kid you not. Pizza. Pizza. Andy J. Pizza. So both of those podcasts I find very inspiring and just really, really good to listen to. And then the other thing I do for me, and these are just things that I do. If you get one thing from anything that I say, great. If you don't, that's okay too. And you can just indulge me in just a couple more minutes and we're going to get creative. And one of the things that I do is I very, very much try to avoid conversations that are doom and gloom based. I very much try to avoid that. I try to guard my heart from things like that because they get, I don't know about you, but they get stuck in my head. Images get stuck in my head. Conversations get stuck in my head, and then I get the earworm and then I replay it over and over and over and over and over, whether it's the image or the conversation or the whatever. So pretty much I shut it down. I either walk away or I mute it or I do whatever, or I just turn my attention elsewhere because I'm not getting into it. I am not getting into it. So I'm just telling you, and that is one of the reasons that we do monitor the chat pretty closely. And if it starts getting particularly dismal, it's not that I don't acknowledge what's going on, but I'm not going to do myself any good by getting sucked into that. So, of course, I don't watch the news very much either. I don't do that stuff because it's not good for me. It's not healthy for me. Right, drama-free is right. So I'm just saying that to you so that you know where I'm coming from and why. And then the last thing that I do, other than looking for all the things that I choose, to look at life from a positive perspective as much as possible, I am not perfect at it by any means. And like I said, sometimes I'm at both ends of the spectrum in one day, and I have to have a talk with myself. And you know how I talk to myself? This is how I talk to myself. This is how I talk to myself. See this? This is how I talk to myself. I talk to myself in my writing, in my journal. Not everybody does that. Not everybody wants to do that. I get it. You have to find what works for you. That works for me. Might not work for you. I get it. Totally get it. But I talk to myself and I give myself the pep talk. I don't depend on somebody else to do it. I give it to myself. I work through my own stuff most of the time, as much as possible. And then every day I have a prayer, and that is, may I be of service and may I make the world a better place. Okay? Every day. Every day. Because if your goal is to make the world a better place in whatever way you can, whatever that is, whether it's sending a letter to somebody, whether it's saying something to someone, whatever it is, whether it's streaming online, whether it's doing a class live online, or it's doing, getting together with a virtual lunch with friends over the internet, or calling somebody on the phone, or whatever it is, if you can make the world a better place, if everybody had that as a goal, guess what, people? We're going to make the world a better place. Okay? So, okay. And sometimes I have to do this like multiple times every day. I have to decide I'm going to be calm. I have to decide I'm going to breathe. I have to decide that looking down as I'm walking is not a bad thing, because you just never know when you're going to find a God wink. You just never know when you're going to find it. But you have to, it's basically one decision after another after another. So, my final little thing before we move on into creative stuff, and thank you for indulging me, the forum here, to just be able to share those things with you that I feel. And I hope you feel how deeply I feel these things. There is a healing art called Reiki, and there are some principles of Reiki. And again, I live by these principles. Just for today, I choose to let go of anger. I have to do it sometimes multiple times a day. Just for today, I choose to let go of worry. Just for today, I choose to be kind to every living thing. And sometimes when the mosquitoes are out and the flies are in my house, that is a challenge for me, I will tell you. I am not perfect at this. Just for today, I choose to do my work honestly. Not that I ever intend to do my work dishonestly, but when people, here's the thing, when people question my motives, or when people question my integrity, it's not coming from me, because I know that every day I choose to do my work honestly. That's coming from them being scared. It's coming from them being fearful about something, right? And so they attack because they're scared. So they're going to bite you before you bite them, or before you say something that makes them, or you've said, or I'll say something and it makes them react. You know, it gets too close to the place where they're scared. So, just for today, I choose to do my work honestly. And just for today, I choose to count my blessings. And so those are the principles that I live by. And those are the things I wanted to share with you. Okay? All right. So there you go. All right. That's the end of my sermon. Which I didn't mean to sermonize, but I figured some people are going to interpret it that way. But it's not meant to be that. Okay, so let's get creative and let us play. And here's the other thing. During times like this, and I know I'm using my own cards, but you know what? You got to use your own stuff. You got to be inspired by your own stuff. Here's the other thing. We need to exercise compassion. We need to exercise compassion for each other, because you never know what somebody else is dealing with. Okay? All right. We never know what someone else is dealing with. Yes. I see that, Annette. YouTube flagged you. That's funny. There are certain words that can't be used in the chat without it flagging. All right. So right now, I can't go shopping for a bunch of stuff, although I did order some pins. I did order some pins last night, because all of a sudden I was working with my Moonlight pins, which I use all the time, and those last forever for me. And all of a sudden one of them was about to go out of ink, and I'm like, oh no, this is terrible. What am I going to do? So Jet pins to the rescue. I don't know when I'll get them, but anyway, I have some pins on order. But other than that, I can't go to the stores that I normally go to for inspiration. I'm just having to be inspired by my own stuff. You know, I got to be inspired by my own stuff. And you know, one of the things I have a lot of? I have a lot of scraps. Do you have scraps? I'm going to tell you something right now. I am glad I kept those scraps, because we're going to play with them. Okay. So I'm going to turn my iron on here, because I have my iron beside me, and I have a sewing machine beside me. If you don't like to sew by machine, then just consider this entertainment. Just consider it entertainment. Okay. So we're just going to, now the camera's probably going to go turn upside down here. So we're probably going to have our Focus You Freak tag right here, because it may go ballistic and be just totally obnoxious. I'll try to watch the focus. Sometimes when I really get involved in what I'm doing, I forget to see it and I don't realize it's gone upside down. You can do it with paper too, Nancy. You don't have to do it with fabric, you can do it with paper. Okay, so what I have here is a sheet of, this happens to be, and this is because it's going to make it easy for me. This is, I didn't bring the package in here. This is called Steam 2 Light. And this is a sheet of fusible glue that is between two pieces of parchment paper. If I can get the other piece off. You may just have to trust me, but it's paper on both sides, and this is a sheet of fusible glue that's heat activated. All right, and I'm going to use a piece of stabilizer. Okay, so this is stabilizer because it's what I could put my hand on the quickest. So I'm going to take off, and this is just again to make it easy. You can do this any number of ways. You know, whatever you like to do. So I'm going to put the stabilizer on top of the glue, okay, like this. And just to make it easy for myself, so that I don't stick this all down to my mat, I'm going to just take a quick second here, and I'm going to trim off the excess adhesive. So if any of you are having a particularly difficult time with what's going on in the world, which I understand if you are, and we all have our stories that, you know, our versions of whatever's going on, I get it. I just know that I wish you peace. I surround each and every one of you every day with love and energy and a spirit of calmness every day. And sometimes you might feel it and sometimes you might not. But when you're having a bad day, maybe you can just think about that crazy woman online who said that she thinks about me, because it's true. I do, and I'm not the only one. So just saying. All right, so I'm just cutting off all this extra adhesive that's hanging off the edges. And this is the interfacing side, or the stabilizer side, so we're just going to write that on here. Stabilizer is used when you are doing machine applique or machine embroidery or whatever. Okay? All right. So now what I have is on the other side, can you see those yellow lines on there? And you see the little image of the iron, the steam iron? It is called Steam 2. And so the adhesive is not permanent until, hi Amber, and anybody I missed. I know I've missed a bunch of you coming in, so welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. So you can, what was I going to say? Oh, the adhesive is touch sensitive. It's temporary, in other words, until you apply heat to it. So I'm just trying to get the sheet started, the paper started. Okay, here we go. So this adhesive now is stuck to my stabilizer, okay, stabilizer, and I'm peeling the top paper away. So I'm not going to peel it all away. I'm just going to pull part of it away. And I have a big, humongous box of scraps. Okay, you can do this with paper too if you want. You know, do it with paper. I'm doing it with fabric because that's what I got. I have a massive box of scraps. I have some of them sorted into colors, but I don't have all of them sorted into colors. There's things like this, you know, piles of things like this in this box that I'm digging in. And then this was from other projects that I did where I'd cut them up into little squares. I could use these, but I won't. I'm just going to use the big things. Oh, good fortune. Look what I found. Some circles. Look. I forgot about those. That is great. Good for me. Okay. Okay, so that is what we're going to play around with. Okay? Now you can do it with paper. You can do take the idea and just imagine what you could do with it. That's all. It's just ideas. You know what we're doing? We're just filling up a sheet of glue, fusible glue. We're going to fill it up with color, and then I don't know. We'll do something with it. This is not a project-based thing today. Okay, this isn't, or I should say that differently. This is not an end result thing today. This is that I was listening to. I've listened to a lot of podcasts, obviously. And I also watch a lot of YouTube videos that are subjects that I'm not necessarily super skilled in. And one of them that I really like is Christy Glass Knits. I forgot where I found Christy, but she does wonderfully interesting interviews with lots of people. And she was interviewing the guy that I was watching today, and I wish I could tell you his name. I can't remember his last name. But one of the things he said that just so resonated with me was she asked him, like, when he went to do classes and conventions and stuff, how people received what he did, because he does sort of unusual kinds of knitting classes. And he said, well, they always want to know what my emphasis is. What's my area of interest? And I get that question too. And you know what? He had the best answer, and it's one I've mulled over in my head a lot, but seldom do I say it. He said, I just like to make things. You know what? That is me to a T. I just like to make things. It doesn't have to be something when I'm done with it. I just like to see what happens. I just like to make things. You know, and sometimes it's a sheet of paper. Sometimes it's a sheet of fabric. Sometimes it's a thing to hang on the wall. Sometimes it's a mandala. The people say, what do you do with all these mandalas? Well, sometimes I stick them in books. Sometimes I stick them, put them in a frame and put them on the wall. Sometimes I make cards out of them. Sometimes I don't do anything with them. I just make it to keep myself from going crazy. I just like to make things, okay? I just like to make stuff. So there you go. Okay. And the other thing I have here that I wanted to show you is these are leftover things, which I found when I was shutting the blinds in my studio. I just happened to glance down. There was a plastic bag there that had all these scraps in it. These are paper towels. Okay, these are paper towels they're painted with acrylic paint. And they were strips from, some project. So I have some of those. Okay? All right. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start pulling some stuff out. And I have an iron here. I know people gasp every time I say the word iron because apparently nobody irons anymore. Well, I do iron, not clothing so much as I iron fabric and paper. And this is an ironing board. Okay, this is an ironing board that I used, that my husband made for me. It's a piece of wood with some come on, camera, be nice. Play nice here. Thank you. You have to be nice to the camera. You have to be nice to the camera. It's covered with cotton batting and then some muslin. All right. So I'm just going to pull some of these out. I don't know. We may make them all from 1 or 2 bags. I don't know. So anyway, we have these. I do have the iron because most of these are really wrinkly. And so I'm just going to start. If I think most streams are messy around here, this is going to be really bad. Yep, this is going to be really bad. So I want these to be flat. So you will see me using my iron to flatten them. And then what I want to do is I want to overlap the edge a little bit. But this temporary stick adhesive that will become permanent eventually will hold the scraps in place. Then if I'm putting stuff on top of stuff, I'll use a glue stick to hold it in place until I do something else. All right, let's put some more of these on here. And I have scissors here to cut the scraps apart because some of my scraps are, a little big. You can cut them or you can rip them or you can do whatever you want to do. It's your fabric. It's your project. You can do whatever you want to do. Right? Right. Yes, there's a video on YouTube here. I do fabric paper in many different renditions. And there's a sample video class from our website on here on YouTube. There's lots of ways to make fabric paper. Okay, so we're just gonna put some stuff on here. Put some stuff on here. Oh, I don't think I want that there. I might want it over here. Why? I don't know. So I'm just looking for bits and pieces of stuff. And apparently I'm going to use the blue bag here for a little bit. And this is the adhesive that I'm working on here is stitchable. So, because I am going to add stitching to this when I'm done. These are all scraps from, I keep trying to use up this box of scraps. It's never going, let's be honest. It's never going to happen. I'm never going to use up all these scraps. In fact, I think that they multiply when I'm not looking. I think that I think they've got a secret thing going on in there in my sewing room. I really think they do. I think they just multiply. You can make whatever you want to make out of it. Here's the thing. I don't have to make anything out of it. If I just get the pleasure of putting the scraps together and enjoying the color, it's like so many other things in my life. I just thoroughly enjoy the process of just seeing what happens. Just see what happens. And I'm not going to work fast. I have to get a piece of paper towel because I'm making a mess here. The steam iron is making a mess. I do want to use some of these paper towels here in a little bit. Let's see what else we have in here. Okay, now stuff like this. This is lame, and it's beautiful and shiny and wonderful, but the iron's going to melt that, so we're not going to use that. We are not going to use that. And I'm using cottons. That's what I'm using here for the moment. Now, if you spend your time ahead of time pressing all your scraps, which I never ever do that personally, I never ever do that, but if you did, then you'd be all ready to do this. All right, I have a bag of reds here somewhere. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's in the reds and pinks. Could be. Red and orange. Yeah, okay. Sometimes when I do my organization of colors, like this is not red or orange, although I think that pink is a derivative of red, right? It's a tint of red. So it's fine. Let's see, why would anybody save that little scrap? Well, because you're going to use it for something like this. That's why. Right? Just because you're going to use it for something like this. Anyway, I don't know what I started to say a minute ago, so that's a hazard of doing things like this while I'm trying to talk. My ability to think and talk. And I'm going to just roll the paper down as I go just to reveal more of it. This is all in an attempt to keep from sticking myself to the paper. I mean to the adhesive. Okay. So we're just grabbing stuff. Anyway, my bag of reds and oranges sometimes generously gets pinks and other colors, but sorting stuff into color families is often a trick for me. Often a trick for me, because it's like, okay, now I got all these multicolored things. What in the world am I going to do with those? They don't go here, they don't go there. Case in point, is it pink? Is it blue? You know, what color is it? So it could be either one, couldn't it? And sometimes it's fun. Salvage edges like this, which has Jane Sassaman's name on it. Sometimes it's fun to incorporate stuff like that just because it's text, you know, just because it's text. Scrap salad. That's a good name for it. Scrap salad. Scrap salad. Okay, so let's dig some more. Dig some more. And then see, sometimes I run across things like this where it's like, okay, well that clearly was a screw up of some kind. So it's been stitched together. So I'm going to get rid of the part that's stitched and press open the part that's that I can. Maybe, if I can get a hold of it. There's a fun technique where you can make confetti out of this stuff that's usable confetti. It's not just crap that gets all over the place. Clearly, you know now one of my secrets that I don't like confetti. But it's a fun technique too. Cut this little thing. Okay, so now in here I don't have much adhesive available, so I'm just going to take my glue stick, and on the back of my fabric I'm just going to put a little glue stick. This is not fabric glue stick, it's just plain old glue stick, but it's enough. It'll be enough to hold it in place until I can decide what I'm going to use to stitch. Okay, alright, so we're just going to keep on playing here and playing, and this is one of my favorite pieces. I don't think I have much of this left, so let's put some more of that somewhere. We'll just put it in the middle. When you don't know what to do with it, just put it in the middle. Bye, Amber. Good to see you. And see, some of my patches have, they have some size to them, but they're not big enough to do anything, you know, make anything with. But big enough, too big to throw away. So, which is what that would be. Too big to throw away. Not big enough to make anything, but too big to throw away. So we're just going to piece this all together here for a little bit and just see what we come up with. Oh, I got some greens. Let's do some greens. So usually what I do when I'm doing this kind of stuff is I just open the bags, and I have all the bags open. And you can squash the air out of these, and you can get rid of, I mean, you can get a lot of stuff crammed into these bags if you squash the air out of them. So usually I just have the bags open, and then I just dig in them to find whatever it is that I'm wanting to find. So here's another piece of whatever. So I'm just going to iron part of it. No point in ironing all of it. One time I did a lot of pillowcases for, it was some charity thing. I don't remember what it was. And so that's why I ended up with all these long strips of things, because I had to even the fabric, because the fabric, a lot of the fabric was, you know, when they rip the fabric out, rip the ends off, or they don't rip the ends of the fabric off anymore, they cut it with the rotary cutter, and there's a whole big debate about that, whether you should do that or whether you should rip it. I'm pretty much old school about that. I prefer to have the fabric ripped so that I know it's on grain. But anyway, we won't go there. We won't go there. Because if you want it on grain anymore, you end up having to buy extra fabric, and then when you rip it, you have to allow for the fabric. Anyway, we'll just let that go. Barb needs to stop. Good for you, Julie. Good for you. So just keep going, just keep going, just keep playing, putting stuff down. And if I don't want this patch to be covered up, then I can just peel it up because it's temporary. The stick is temporary till you iron it. Once you iron it, then it's gonna stick and be much harder to get off. Alright, this one, some of these have some adhesive on them. Like this one, for example, this has adhesive on the back of it. Still has the paper on it. The adhesive isn't sticking much anymore, so that's good. So that's an interesting little patch of shape and goodness. So we'll just stick it on there. All right, let's go. Sometimes you just need to turn the bag over. And you'll see a whole new bunch of fabrics. All right, what's on this? Something on the back of this. I don't know what. So we're just gonna. Oh, I think it's steam a seam. Anyway, we'll just stick it on here. We'll just stick it on. But I always have to be careful when I'm doing stuff like this, because I will put pieces that have fusible products on the back of them. I'll just stick them in the bag. If I was smart, which no one claimed that I was, I would not do that. I would always separate out the fusible backed things from the ones that aren't. That was definitely a much smarter thing to do, but I don't do that. I just chuck them all in the same bag. Yep, I chuck them all in the same bag. Okay, now why would anybody save this? Because I like the fabric, but it's not enough to do anything with. So sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and throw it away. Sometimes you do. This has interfacing fused onto the back of it, but it still should work okay. So let's stick it on there, shall we? And just keep building. You can build a color scheme if you want, or you can do like this and just be random as all get out. And then every once in a while I have these little, this is a 1930s replica print. Again, apparently it was too big to throw away. I'll tell you, people, I'll tell you, it's a, see, no. Get a grip on yourself, girl. What was Cooey's question? I didn't see it. What time zone is Arizona? I don't know. I don't know what they are, because they don't change time, so I don't know what their time zone is. Don't know. Oh, this is another one of my favorites. Anytime any of these batik prints, I just love these. Ugh. Love these, especially if they have multiple colors in them. I just love them. Okay, I'm just going to iron this whole little scrappage. They'll go down flatter if you iron them. Duh. How about that for intelligence? Every once in a while, you just have to marvel at your own stupidity, don't you? Gee whiz, Barb. It's like that gal I used to work with saying, yeah, it's back on the flat table. Okay. Well, I'm sure glad it's not on the round table. Oh, goodness. I hope you all are having a good day, and I hope that you are doing something creative in some form or fashion. Really do. Let's see. Maybe we'll put a piece of this. Now this is paper towel that's been painted. So we're just going to put this on here. Okay, so we're just going to stick that on. All right. Let's come on down take another piece of this because we have it and because we want to use it. And because I love it. So there, you know, if I love it, that's good enough reason to use it. You're watching me. Absolutely, Dorothy. Absolutely. Are you imagining being creative? Because that counts too. Alright, put a little glue stick on this. Glue stick just helps to control the madness. Control the madness. Let's put another little bit of this in here somewhere. We need a little bigger piece first. Let's use a piece of put a piece of this in here first, and then we'll put a piece of this. Let's see how fun that is to, I don't know if you think that's fun, but I think that is fun to look at. All right, so I'm just going to keep building it this way. I could, if I wanted to, flip it and start building from a different direction, but I'm not going to. We're just going to keep going as it is. Okay, what else do we want to use? Let's see. I got to dig in here a little bit, see what else I can find. This piece of fabric, I'm telling you, I didn't even have all that much of this fabric, but it will not die. It will not get used up. It will not go away. I think that it multiplies. I've used it so many times. It's got, I don't know what on the back. I don't know what that is. Anybody's guess. Anybody's guess. Anybody's guess what that is. Alright. So every once in a while I switch bags and just go digging for something else. Let's see what this is. That's more adhesive or interfacing backed fabric. So that is stiffer because it's got interfacing on the back. But again, the patches were too big to throw away. And I don't imagine I can get the interfacing off. Let's see. It's a fusible. Well, maybe it will. Oh, look at that. Well, that was a good idea. I don't know where the other piece was that had interfacing on the back now. Oh well, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That was great. That was great. Okay, so let's put another piece of this. Yesterday it was absolutely stunning outside here, and so we went for a walk. And Muppet enjoyed her walk. She wears a backpack when we go out walking because she's worn a backpack for a long time. It's her job. It's her job. And she carries 2 pounds of dry beans, although the plastic bags that the beans were in have gotten holes in them over time. And so she drops, instead of dropping breadcrumbs, she drops beans. So she doesn't have very many beans in her backpack anymore. Anyway, she loves to carry that backpack because it's a job. It's her job. Hello, Mary. Okay, this is some hand-painted fabric. And I don't think there's anything on the back of it. So I'm going to, when in doubt, cover with a press cloth. But my press cloth is in the other room with the sponsors. So we know that I'm not going in there. We know I'm not going in there. Not right now. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the paper because I'm tired of fooling with that. So let's put this like so. And so lots of strips I have in this, in these bags of scrappage. Lots of strips. Okay. And let's see, what else do we want to use? Maybe this. I like these checkered fabrics a lot. So what do you think of the way it's growing? Again, I'm not paying any attention. Apparently you want to live there, huh? Apparently this wants to live on here somewhere. Mary's been having a nap. Good for you, Mary. Good for you. Naps are good. I'm feeling one in my future, too. Yep, naps are good. That Mary, she is a streaming machine, let me tell you. I gotta have a little coffee. Okay, so let's pick another something. Now see, when I start using glue stick, it starts sticking to my fingers. How about some more yellowish colors? Oh, this was the one that had the interfacing on the back of it. Let's see if we can peel that interfacing off of this one. Oh, sometimes they're not so easy to get started, huh? If all else fails, stick it down and don't worry about it, huh? Hi, Nell. If I had longer fingernails, this would be easier. Here we go. Look! Comes off. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so let's put some of that on here. But the overlapping of colors and designs and what have you are, this is the world's cheapest fabric. I don't know what this is, but man, it was terrible stuff. I remember when I used it for something, I was like, oh, it's like sewing with, I don't know, it's cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Ick. Ugh. Feels terrible in your hands. Terrible. Okay. I remember so many of the things I did with these fabrics now that I'm looking at the scraps. That's what's fun. Ah, look. It's the simple things in life. Interfacing that you can rip right off. Floats my boat, man. Floats my boat. All right, let's just stick her there. Yeah. You just got to humor the girl. Humor the girl. The simple things in life. If there is nothing else that we have learned during all of this stuff that's going on, it is that we don't need to be quite as complicated in our lives as maybe we think we do, huh? Oh, this is one of my favorite fabrics ever. One of my favorite fabrics ever. Let's see if I got a small scrap. I do. I forgot who put this out. What does it say? Nancy. Well, of course, I don't have all of her name on the... Maybe somebody in the chat knows. But it was called Simple Gifts. The collection was called Simple Gifts. One of my all-time favorite fabrics. All-time favorites. And I tend not to buy fabrics in large quantities. And so it's easy to get stuck in the mindset of hoarding things because, oh, I only have this much, you know. Use it. Use it. Use it. Use it. Maybe we'll echo that again. It's just good to have the reminder. It's just good to have the reminder. You know the KISS principle, right? Keep it simple, stupid. Which is not very positive self-talk. Sometimes you just... When in doubt, just slap it down. Stop looking, stop fretting, just slap it down. Diane remembers that fabric. It's great fabric, isn't it? Great fabric. Great fabric. I do love batiks probably as much as anything. I don't like to quilt through them. I don't like to quilt through batiks at all. Hand quilt. Machine quilt's fine. Hand quilt, not so much. Yeah, not so much. Actually, I'm going to just take a little snippet of this one. Put it right there. I've almost got this covered with this base fabric here. See what else we got. Oh, here's a good little piece. I love this piece of fabric too. Love this little star fabric too. Hi, Colleen. And we don't know what it's going to be. It might be something. Might not. It might just be something to just say, well, we did that. Whoops, wrong scissors. Well, that was something we did that one day. Might need a little bit. I have circles here somewhere in a plastic bag. So we're going to put some of those on here in a minute because we can. So I don't want to use too much of that. All right, here's another color, another batik. Oh, look at this! Look at this tiny little scrap. Again, Why save that? I don't know. I don't know. It's just because. It's just because. Oop, that obviously had fusible web on the back of it. I promptly ironed it right down to my... I ironed it on my ironing board. That was bad. Whew, got it up just in the nick of time. Just in the nick of time, people. I'm telling you, that was close. Yeah, that was close. Look, okay. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. See that? This is ridiculous. When it's all in a wad, it looks pretty good. But there's not enough there to do a thing with. Nothing. Silly girl. Silly, silly girl. Oh, I see something I like. Let me see. Oh, I don't have enough of it to use. I told you I sometimes have fusible web on the backs of these pieces, so there's always the danger of ironing it down to the surface. Yep. There sure is that danger. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. We're getting close. We're getting close. The less you think, the better it's going to turn out. Just telling you, the less you think about it. At least that's my experience. Don't think, just do. When I was a kid, there were books that we had in school called Think and Do books. Think and Do books. And then invariably there was some kid in our class that got dubbed the Do and Think kid. Instead of a Think and Do, he was a Do and Think. Yeah. Yep. Was one that got on his horse and rode off in all directions. Have you ever heard that saying? All right, I'm gonna have to watch this. I think there's fusible on here somewhere, maybe. Yeah, I see it. Have to be very careful. Very careful here. Oop. About did it again. There must be fusible all over the back of this. I don't know. Anyway. No worries. No worries, no worries. Okay, couple more little spots here, and then we're going to put some, spots on it. We're going to add some spots. Maybe we'll put this one right here. Just because I like it. I love this hand-painted fabric. Okay, we got one more there. We'll put a circle there. Okay, so I'm going to clear all this. I have this big mess of fabric on my desk. I'm going to let you see it. See this? See all that? See that mess I got going on here? So I'm going to just chuck it on the floor, and I'll sort it and clean it up later. Because that's what you do when you stream. You throw it all on the floor and then you deal with it later. Right, Mary? Right, Colleen? Anybody else that streams? Shauna and who else? Anyway, everybody that streams, that's what you do. You chuck it on the floor. Okay, so I have this great piece of fabric, so I might use that too, to just kind of make it, give it a little something something. Hi, Emily. Yeah, Emily streams, and she has a big mess on. If you stream, you know what I'm talking about. It just ends up to be this nightmare on the floor. Okay. All right. This has got fusible web on it, so I'm gonna put this on a piece of parchment. All right, so let us, oh, I think that's pretty. I don't know if you guys think it's pretty or not, but I think it's pretty. So I have this black, I may use that. I have these circles in here. I don't know if these have fusible on them or not, so we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Can't remember what I did with these. Some project. All right, let's play with some spots, shall we? Let's put some spots on this baby. I think red spots would be appropriate, don't you think? I may not use that black fabric after all. And I have some partial spots, so they would kind of have to hang off the edge maybe a little bit. See where the edge is, about there. Yeah. These spots must not have made the cut, most of them, for whatever it was I was doing. There's that fabric. I just love that little star fabric. I just love that little star fabric. So once I get these on here, then I'll have to go back and add some glue under them. Here's another star fabric. It's not that they have to hang off the edge, but it's just that I kind of think it's, I don't want to put it that close to that one. We don't need, maybe you don't get to live on this. Maybe you live right there. I feel like Bob Ross. We'll put this happy little fabric right here. And maybe we'll put this one right there. It just gives it some, it just breaks up some of the rest of it. Okay, I need to put some glue under those. I opted not to use the black fabric, so all these spots, I didn't even use up all the spots. They're gonna go back in their little bag. And I didn't use up all the paper towel strips. I'll tell you. Oh well. Okay, let's put some glue under the spots. Just to hold everybody in place a little bit. I'm just trying to hold them in place enough that until I stitch. Because these don't have any fusible on them. They're just fabric. Now, if this doesn't make you smile just because it's so bright and pretty, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Don't know. Okay, so I'm going to put the paper back over it. And we're going to fuse it in place. The fusing is not touching every single patch. It's touching some of it. A lot of it. 3 o'clock, you guys. I've been here for 2 hours. Oh well. Are you guys getting a lot of buffering? Not today? Okay. Well, that's good to know. All right, let's see. Let's try. There must have been some glue or something on my sheet. So, that's funny. So in some places it's buffering, in some places not. This goes to show that you just can't. Just depends. Seems to be area dependent. Okay. So that's going to be glued down well enough. You know, it's not coming apart. So that's good. That's good. All right, let's move this away. And those of you that are a part of the Beyond Mandala Madness group, anybody can join at any time. If you want to be part of the live group, we're asking for a donation of $15 or more. You can do that. The link is in the description box below the video. You don't want to do that? It's fine. You're still welcome to come and enjoy the streams, which are on Monday and Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Anyway, what I started to say is if you're part of that group, if you have made a donation, that puts you on an email list, and your email link about the, or your email information about the show and share, which is a live show and share, is on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and you'll get that email later today. I hope that made sense. Okay, we're going to the sewing machine. All right, looks like I have thread. Ooh, this is a sewing machine that needs to be cleaned out. Let's give it a quick. When you sew with paper on your sewing machine, it makes more lint than normal. Okay, so we're gonna set this up so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, and I think, yep, okay. Because it's easy for me, I'm going to use free motion stitching. And I'm trying to think what color of thread I want to use. And, you know, I'm probably going to go back to the thread I love, which is this super bright green. I like it. Oops, sorry. Put my head right in there. I like it so much that I bought 2 spools of this. Didn't realize I had done that. Anyway, Superior Threads King Tut color 924. It's my favorite. King Tut is my very favorite thread going. So I'm going to just thread my machine up. And I have a free motion foot. And my machine is set up for free motion stitching. And I have a lighter weight thread in the bobbin, and I have reduced the top thread tension. So that's the setup. Yep, free motion. What? Do you know the sewing foot name? It's just a free motion foot. It's a Bernina free motion foot. It is foot number 9 for Bernina. But bear in mind, this Bernina is old. It's been around the block and back. Let's just say that. Okay? All right, I'm going to try not to get in the shot, but I want you to be able to see. And I have fabric all over the floor, which is now going to be combined with dog hair and cat hair. Shouldn't have told you that. Isn't that what Hagrid says on Harry Potter? Oh, shouldn't have said that. And before we get going, yeah, sometimes it's called a darning foot. That's true. Yeah, it won't go out until later today, Virginia. Yeah, this foot has been altered. We actually cut the front out of it. But I think that you can buy, a lot of times you can buy them both ways. So, okay. So I'm not going to, I never know what I'm going to do when I start free motion stitching. This does have stabilizer on the back, and so that makes it easier to work with. I never know what I'm going to do, so I just sort of feel my way through it. Okay, what did I do here? Wound the thread around the needle. Goodness, good thing I saw that. Okay. So I'm going to bring up my thread, bring up the bobbin thread, and I think I'll start. I'm going to start on this spot right here. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to try and keep my head out. I don't know what, I must have my machine. I must have my machine or my camera one jogged. Okay. Alright, so you can just watch as I stitch, and I don't know what I'm going to do because I never know what I'm going to do, so we'll just see. We'll just see where it goes. Okay. And when you need to, you stop and you take a breath, take a break, and go some more. This is the equivalent of scribbling, scribbling in your in a notepad or a sketchbook or something. That's all I'm doing is scribbling, but I'm scribbling with thread. And then every once in a while, I reposition my hands and breathe a minute. Whoops. And when that happens and you flip the patch, you just have to, sometimes I'll just snip a stitch. See if I can get it, lay it back down. Good enough. And you see over here, can you see right here where it's bunched up? That's because it's off the edge of the stabilizer. That's why it's bunching up. So that part's going to get cut off anyway, so we don't worry about it. Okay. Now, every once in a while, you'll end up with adhesive building up on the needle. I just use my fingers and run down the needle. Don't run up. Run down the needle and you'll get the adhesive off. Or you can keep an alcohol wipe, which we know are in short supply right now, so just use your fingers. Just use your fingers and just get the adhesive off. Or you can use a cotton swab dipped in alcohol. That works too. Okay. Okay, anybody have any questions? Good reason to keep the vodka bottle in the crafting room. There you go. I'm sorry if my head keeps getting in the way. Yes, you can write words. Absolutely. You can do all kinds of stuff. Free motion stitching is something that people get really scared of, and it's one of my very favorite things to do. But I was scared of it when I started too. So if you have a machine that has a free motion system, which means that you have a lever like this that raises and lowers the presser foot back here, you do have to be really careful that you don't rest your leg against that. Bernina used to be the only machine that had that. Now many of the machines have that freehand system. Be careful that you don't rest your foot or your leg your knee specifically, or your thigh against that, because you will you'll release the tension. And then the stitches don't form properly and it gets all ugly. Really bad, really quick. Okay, so I'm just playing. Can you tell that I get bored doing the same thing? And although you can stitch any direction you want to, I tend to like to stitch toward myself. And I have a little patch here that is sticking up. Nailed it. Okay. Just checking to see where the edge of my stabilizer is here. Some people like to be very meticulous about their designs and what they want to do with their stitching. You know, they know exactly what they're going to do. That is not me. I am a free motion stitcher. Bye, Nuit. Thank you again. Okay, just looking for a minute. Okay, and then if you if you stitch yourself into a corner or the middle of something and you don't want to stitch your way back out, then just find a way to, and you don't want to go around in the spiral, just make it up, make it up. See? So I just made up a zigzag and went around. So it was like, oh, that's what I meant for it to be. Okay, whoops. Okay, let's see, what else? As I said, you can stitch in any direction when you're free motion stitching, but I find it easiest to go toward myself, and so that's what I do. But you can do anything that works for you. This is the fabric, pardon me, the fabric equivalent of Dina Wakley's puke on a page. You just put a bunch of stuff down, stitch it all together, and cut it up, and it's always going to work. Okay, again, I've stitched myself into the middle of whatever this whatever this is. So, and this isn't stitched as much as I want. So I want to come over here. So we'll just go over there. And now I've got pretty much all of this. There's maybe a quarter of it left to stitch. And so I've stitched myself into kind of a corner, literally. So I'm just going to stitch down the edge. Okay, so now I'm at the place where I have the stuff that's not stitched, and so now I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. So I'm just looking. I love the way it feels. Can you see all the stitching? Yeah, you'll see it more here in a minute. You do have to be careful that you don't get your fingers in the way of the needle, because you can actually stitch your finger with a free motion, even with a free motion foot, so be careful. Always know where your hands are. Which sounds like a stupid thing to say, but it's just the truth. You can always use a bamboo skewer like this one if you need to kind of get things in place. It's a good thing to do because the bamboo will break, but it won't screw up your machine. If you stitch the needle, and better to stitch the bamboo than to stitch your fingers. I think I said this before, but this is just doodling. I'm not giving it really no thought to what I'm doing. I'm sure you figured that out by now. And sometimes I have people ask me what size needle they should use when they're stitching on paper. And when I stitch on paper, I use the smallest needle that I can get away with. And the reason I do that is so it punches smaller holes in the paper, because you can compromise the integrity of the paper. So use the smallest needle you can get away with. There's a hint. All right, let's see. I think we got it all. Good enough. As the old saying goes, good enough for who it's for. All right. So let's take a look at the back. This could use a little bit more stitching. What was that? Oh, that was the word. No, we're going to leave that alone. But on the back, you can always tell how densely it's been stitched. And because we have all kinds of patches on there, and this is where there's another word that I didn't want to stitch through. Because there's all kinds of little pieces, we got to have enough stitching to hold all that stuff in place. Okay. So you see all those completely unique and disparate pieces of fabric come together, and they're unified by either the color thread or the stitching, you know, just the fact that they're stitched or whatever. Yeah, lower the feed dogs, or if you have an old machine, many times you can get a cover for your feed dogs. So it's not entirely necessary. You can actually do free motion stitching if you have a free motion foot, even if you don't cover the feed dogs. Okay, all right. So let's look at it from far away. Looks pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. All right, let me just trim the edges so you can get a look at it. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I may die cut it. I may cut it into postcards. I may cut it into bookmarks or ATCs. Who knows? It may live like this for the rest of its life. I'm not doing particularly wonderful trimming here. I'm just cutting it down just so you can see the edges of the stabilizer. And then when you cut the stitching, depending on what you do with it, when you cut the stitching, because if you die cut it or if you cut it into pieces, Usually stitch around the edges of it, and that'll stitch over all those little loose ends. All right. So there is what it looks like in its final form. This is basically where we started building. From this, we built all the way down. Yeah, there's nothing like a fabric bookmark. And I've done many, many, many of those. Tags are good too. So anyway, that is that. So there you go. All right, so we're going to stop there for today. And thank you for humoring me with my outlook on life earlier. So there's the piece from a distance, so you can see what it looks like. It's really fun. You can't screw this up. I'm telling you can't screw it up. You really can't. If you pick only one kind of color, you know, like say reds and oranges, or red, orange, and yellow, you can do that and it's going to work. You can do cool colors. You can do, if you have enough reds, you can do all reds or all browns. You know, it's really and truly whatever you like to do. You're not going to, you cannot screw it up. And it has the best feel. It just has the best feel. So all those little bits and pieces turn into something magic. So what I want you to do is I want you to make some magic of some kind. You don't see, I didn't make anything with it. I just got creative. And I feel great because I was just able to be creative today. So that's what I want you to do. I challenge you to get out there, wherever that is, whether it's out of your chair or out of the room you've been staying in the most or whatever, and get creative today, because you know it's easy. It is. It's easy. You just got to start. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel if you get creative. All right, I will see all of you guys that are in the Beyond Mandala Madness live show and share group. It's not too late to get into that. I will see you on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Watch your email. You'll get information later today with all of that in your email. And that's with the email that you signed up with. So be sure you check that email account. All right. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, wonderful whatever. Just make it wonderful the best you can. Okay? See you guys later. Bye for now.